All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So, whole market down based off that long-term foreign. Oh wait, let me just fix my volume here. Whole market down based off that downgrade from Fitch. Talk about a silly reason. That's why swing trading, right? You always have to manage your risk, right? Because you can never really, you always have to manage your position size, I should say, because you can't manage your risk, right? So that's why when you're swinging a trade, you never really want to go over, your average position size. Okay. Mute all this stuff. So the debt rating was downgraded by Fitch to AA plus from AAA. That's pretty much it. Right, kind of silly. So Q's down 0.9%, SPY's down 0.6%. Curious to see what happens today, right? We still have a pretty solid setup here, right? Here's here's Q's, right? Bounced off this trend line multiple times here. Great. We have a pretty nice support down below here around 375, this zone here. Right, pretty big support, right? Bounced once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, multiple times, right? Last downgrade in 2011, SPX dropped 7%. Wow, that's crazy. So we have this previous support, was a resistance, was a resistance, was a support, was a support. I'm going to potentially look if this rejects for puts, right? If this 380.2 level rejects, I'm going to look for puts off that level. I'm just playing, for a push into it and a rejection back down, right? For a move down to 375 or so. That's what I'll be looking for. Okay. Maybe a retest of this trend line here. SPY, kind of the same thing, right? We had this perfect little wedge here, but now down almost 0.7%. We do have a decent, let's see, this 452 level. I don't really know if I like that. So we have this previous resistance there and there. So yeah, I'll leave it. Right, we have this previous support. But this is a bigger level here, 454. So if SPY can reject this 454 level, I would look for puts too. Or even if it could push up to 455, this would be even better. Right, push up to 455, play puts off that. Right, market's pretty weak today, so we'll see what happens. But we're in an overall uptrend, so this could easily just be bought right back up, right? So we got to be neutral. Amazon, let's take a look. Amazon down 1%. We have this previous resistance at 131.5, and we're opening right below it. I would look to see if Amazon can push up and reject this level also. Right, I want to play a rejection of these resistances above. It is pretty much the goal for today, for now at least. These, clean up the chart a bit. All right, so that looks pretty decent. Let's see if we got anything else. So swung Microsoft calls. Setup was solid, right? Setup was definitely solid. We had this resistance here. We broke out. We were pulling back, doing a little bit of a retest off this previous support, right? Support was a resistance multiple times. So I was looking for a bounce here and a break to the upside there. Setup looked great, but again, not every setup's going to work out. So always just need to manage risk. Oh yeah, Amazon has earnings tomorrow. Thank you for the reminder. Amazon has earnings. Apple has earnings. PayPal has earnings coming up. AMD had earnings, and it's the only thing that's green today, pre-market. Coin has earnings coming up. Square has earnings. Shop has earnings. Baba has earnings coming up. Rivian has earnings coming up. So all these names here have earnings. So just need to be cautious, right? Premiums might be more money. They might not move as much. So it's also Wednesday today. Wednesdays are typically more choppy. So we'll see what happens. But we'll keep an eye on Microsoft. I have 342 calls, I think. Let me double check. What do I have? Oh, I have 340 calls. Even better. So 340 calls, it's a bit far out of the money, right? $7 out of the money. But setup is still valid, right? If this can hold here, I would consider holding it. If not, I would sell as soon as it starts to drop down. So that's the game plan there with Microsoft. Okay. Apple. Right, Apple had this little solid flag here. We're down 0.5% pre-market. We do have this previous resistance right here. That if that breaks, we do have a little tiny gap to fill here. So we could look for puts there. But we'll see. I'm curious to see what happens at market open. PayPal, that setup didn't work yesterday. Could delete all these trend lines. Excuse me, I had to sneeze, so I'm muting my mic. So PayPal, we have this previous resistance. We're sitting below it pre-market. So again, we're at a pretty solid range here, or a solid zone here in pre-market. So there could go either way. Nvidia down 1.6%. Wow. We do have a little tiny gap to fill, so we could watch that level. Let's see if we can find anything better. So AMD's up 2.2%. We could look at AMD today. We could. It's it kind of broke that. Right, we have this kind of double top here. So if it can break this, maybe we get a little bit of a bigger run. Tesla sitting at these lows, right? Support. If this drops down, move to, I would say this double bottom here, right? Support. That's what I would look for. Looks pretty weak, Tesla. It's also done almost 2.3%. Delete all these. Okay. If anyone has any questions about anything, let me know. Coin. Coin did have a solid setup. It was very close to breaking out. Now we have this big downtrend. Delete this, clean this chart up a bit. Just too extended for me here. Netflix. Nothing really there. Google has a big gap to the downside here. We could definitely keep an eye on. All right, below 128.32. We'll move this up a bit. 128.32. There's a solid move that we could potentially see. Good morning, Andre. Do I see SPY flushing today? So I always like to be neutral. I mean, we're down 0.7%. Play the supports, right? Play, if this, then that. Right? We do have a support here at 452.8. And it also kind of lines up with this white trend line I have drawn here. All the way from down here, right? Bounce. I guess you can consider that bounced. Or if you just draw it like that. So we'll see. Right, market's been in an absolute huge tear to the upside. So one little credit rating, I don't think should really affect it, but we'll see. I like QQQ a little bit better. A little bit better of a chart than SPY. So that's probably what I'll watch at open. Amazon looks pretty decent. I like how we have this huge shelf. Right, anytime you have a resistance like this, it will typically reject it again. Microsoft, obviously, I'll be watching as I'm in that play already. Let's see what else. PayPal we could watch. I like this double top, clean double top. And if it rejects it, we can definitely see some more downside and a push down to the zone here. All right, big shelf. Google we could watch. I like these better though. I like PayPal and Amazon better. All right, Apple's just been working its way up also. The video's breaking down from this little wedge. So, you know, this could all break down. This could definitely all break down. Solid wedge here on NVIDIA. All right, that looks pretty good, but we're going to be breaking down. We have a clean resistance that turned into a support. All right, so this could totally push down all the way to 439, 440. Apple upgraded. So those are my top watches. We could also watch AMD. I wonder how AMD does today. Tesla got this double bottom, right, that I mentioned before. All right, so what I like to do every morning is I like go through my watch list. I chart it out, and then I go through it again just to double look at it. All right, and I try to see which setups I like the best. It's really that. I think Qs I like the best. SPY kind of is a little iffy here. I don't know if it's going to bounce right off. It has a ton of resistance and support within the same zone. And yeah, that's really that. Microsoft just needs to hold this 333 level. That's it. What questions does everyone have? What questions does everyone have before I go set up the Zoom? Let me know. All right. Looks like no one's got any questions. So I'm looking for Qs to bounce, then puts. So Qs, I would look for a retest of this previous level, right? Previous support acted as resistance, acted as support. it pushed up. I want to see a push up and a rejection here. And then I'll look for puts. What if it doesn't bounce? Then you don't take then you don't take it. QQQ, just cleaner setup, right? We have this clean resistance here. And we have the next zone with heavy support is this level down here, right? So we have a bigger range to run as opposed to SPY, right? I have a much tighter range here, right? If this breaks down, I have the next level here, 451, as opposed to Qs that has this bigger range. You're in a SPY 454 put. There you go. How do you learn to chart like that? You could post your charts in the Discord and I'll give you feedback on every single chart you post. Okay. AFRM. So broke out, rejected that previous resistance. Now it's just sitting right back at that breakout level. So really needs to decide where it wants to go. U's got these lower highs. It's got this previous double top here. And so it needs to reclaim that for more upside. Right, it kind of has these higher lows, but it's breaking down from there. So it just needs to reclaim that. Yeah, I like that better. You zoom out and your SPY chart doesn't look like mine. Post chart in the Discord. I'll let you know how to fix it. All right, but that's that, folks. I'm gonna head out and get ready for the Zoom. One note before I do go is I'm working on a package. I know a ton of you guys are interested in real estate and trading, you know, just a way to make more money. So I'm trying to put something together where I can literally handhold you to invest in real estate. You know, something to help you, like a one-on-one kind of coaching thing to help you invest in real estate. You know, I could show you my exact strategy on how to find properties, how to analyze properties, right? How to find cash flowing properties, you know, for as little as $2,500 down, seller financed, right? You don't even need credit check. You don't need tax returns, nothing. And I'll show you how to negotiate with the agents, with the owners. Right? It's all stuff I do myself. So I'm going to see if I could put together something to help you guys do that. Now, it's obviously going to be a lot of work for me, so I'm only going to be able to, I'm going to have to limit it to, you know, like 2 or 3 people at first. And just do that. So that's the goal. That way you guys can start to get some units. And I could just help 2 or 3 people at a time, and then, you know, maybe I can even start hiring people helping me. Right, it's really a plan. If you have, you know, 30 to 40 grand, let's say, you can easily get, you know, 10 to 20 units with that, with 2,500 down, 5,000 down, easily. You know, and with 10 units, you could be making 4,000 to 5,000 a month, easily. So, working on that. Just trying to set up, you know, all the parameters and that stuff. So I'll keep you posted. I'll post anything on Twitter. So it's going to be all Section 8 housing though, right? Out of state Section 8 housing, how to go about that. So those are the best cash flowing properties. Yep, they will definitely be paid. All right, so I'm going to head over to Zoom. I will see you guys on the Zoom. Thanks for